Okay, here we go. This is the right trunk floor of this Cordoba. You can see how big the patch has got to be over on this side. When I sandblasted it, I ended up with a lot of little pinholes. I had to make the patches a lot bigger. You can see a few of them right here. Some of the smaller ones like these I should be able to just braze shut. And I've got my patches made. They're kind of laid out in the same way. You know, up here is the quarter panel side, and I've got rolled the beads in. I drilled my holes. I've got 2 more I need to drill in here, but I won't do that until I get it in there and get them matched up with the holes underneath. That's kind of where it is, and if I get this edited right, I'll have a little video of it all welded in too. So, alright, there it is. Okay, here we are after those 3 pieces have been welded in there. Oh, it's got a weird reflection there and it doesn't want to focus very well, but I'll show you. This is the piece that was right there. And see, now we've got this. We've got these 2 holes drilled. That's for the fuel tank sending unit. The beads are a little bit crooked, but you know, no one's going to see it underneath the carpet once that gets put in. So that one turned out pretty well. And then this one, whoops, sorry for jiggling the camera around. This one would have been right about here. And that one goes there. So that one turned out pretty well. Again, the bead is a little bit crooked, but you know, kind of experimenting with the way I'm using that tool right now. So I got it mounted on a new base. So it's a little bit odd. I still have 2 more holes to go right about in this area. They go through the frame rail. They're about that size. But those will, I have to drill those in from the back anyway. So, it's not the prettiest thing right now just because I still have to do a little grinding on the welds. And a lot of it gets covered up with seam sealer anyway. And then some trunk finish and some carpet, and you won't see it anyway, but I wanted to make sure it was there because otherwise there's the chance that just a flat piece of steel would ripple, or not ripple, but flex, and then it would get that oil can sound, and that would be very, very annoying driving down the road if you heard that every now and then. So there it is. That side's welded in. And tomorrow we start working on that giant hole. Hopefully it doesn't get much bigger than that. Okay, here we are. I've finally got all my patches welded into the trunk floor. I'll zoom in here and I can kind of see some of the stuff. There's a hole there, and we got those in there. Use my bead roller to get all those details put in there so that it looks like it's supposed to. Probably won't see much of those details once the undercoating gets put on, but I want them there because that's what's supposed to be there. And now it won't focus. There we go. Kind of see. So I still have one spot there I need to weld up. The seam was a little rusty, so I popped it open and sprayed some rust killer in there. And there's that weld I need to grind, but I need to move some stuff to get at it. Back up here we can kind of see where some of it goes, and this was the easier side. Smaller pieces anyway, overall. I gotta zoom in there too. And all of these panels that I put in there, these patches, they're all made by hand. Some of the welds are tough to get at to grind down nice. So they're just going to have to be that way for a little bit. If I spin this over now, we can kind of see. I'll start over here on this side. It's close. Pretty much all ground. There's that one wheel well. Well, it's showing up pretty decent actually. Hard to get a good video or good pictures with the bare metal. Reflects so much of the light I have in the shop, and this whole side was a complicated piece. This is one piece all the way to here, And there was one piece just right here, and there was this piece. There was one, whoops, sorry. This is one piece. There was a piece right here, and this was actually two pieces because of the seam on the inside. But I got everything, all the little dimples and holes cut back in there about where it should be. The one nice thing about this era Chrysler is they liked seam sealer, so a lot of this stuff that looks kind of ugly right now, like right in there, you know, once that gets covered back up with seam sealer, and then I'll spray some bed liner in here that'll help cover up some of the things too, so it doesn't look quite so bad. And there's areas like this, there was just some pinholes, and then right through here also, I just brazed those shut rather than try to wire feed weld them. And here's this side. I think I mentioned it earlier, I didn't get these perfectly straight, but again, you know, a little bit of bed liner, spraying bed liner in, and then the carpet that goes in here, you're never going to see it anyway. So this side was three pieces. There was one here, this big square one was one, and then there was this little guy here. And then I've still got, you can see the holes in the quarter panel because I still have the quarter panels to do yet. But the trunk floor itself is all welded and everything, so now it's just a matter of spin this all the way up, and I've got both sides had a little rust right there, and then of course the lower quarter patches. There's a little rust through right here, so I got to put a little patch in there, and both sides have some of this too yet I had to deal with, and then a little bit down in the front. Relatively, I mean, pretty typical rust for the most part on these cars. And that's just the way it is, I guess, for now.